Today we're finally able to lift the lid on performance numbers for AMD's RX 6700 XT, the company's new mid-range graphics card that's set to retail for around $479. Of course, while AMD's Radeon RX 6000 series has been generally well received and is a welcome return to the high-end market of PC gaming, availability of its cards, as with a lot of tech items at the moment, has been a real issue. Whether the RX 6700 XT will be available in quantity or even anywhere near its RRP remains to be seen, but there's not much we can do about that right now. At $479, it's a little cheaper than launch RRP of the RTX 3070 at $499, so what we're looking for here is a card that keeps up with the RTX 3070 and is significantly faster than the RTX 3060 Ti. Let's take a look at its performance. I used AMD's 20.50 release driver for the RX 6700 XT testing along with a fully up-to-date version of Windows 10. The benchmarks span 1080p to 4K, but not all graphics cards are tested at all resolutions. For example, the RTX 3060 isn't tested at 4K since you'd be well advised to opt for a more powerful card if that's your chosen resolution. The RX 6700 XT is a mid-range card that's capable of 4K in some games, so I've included results at 4K in all my game tests. In addition, I've also included results for ray tracing, DLSS and smart access memory in certain titles to see the impact these features make. The test system used an MSI MEG Z490 Ace, Intel Core i9-10900K, 16GB 3466 MHz Corsair memory and an Intel 760p SSD along with a custom watercooling system. In Metro Exodus at 1080p with ray tracing and DLSS enabled, the 6700 XT lags behind the RTX 3060 Ti, which is clearly not ideal given the latter has a lower price in normal times, but this is thanks to DLSS, which isn't available in all games, and AMD will have its own version of the technology in due course. The same was true at 1440p with the 6700 XT sitting some way behind the RTX 3060 Ti. Now let's see what happens if we turn off ray tracing and DLSS. Below you can see that without the benefit of DLSS, the RX 6700 XT has a similar 99th percentile to the RTX 3070, although the latter enjoys a noticeably higher average frame rate. It's also worth noting the proximity of the RTX 3060 Ti here too. It's not far behind either the RTX 3070 or RX 6700 XT. It's no surprise to see the result at 4K re-enabling DLSS and ray tracing, with the RX 6700 XT sitting below the RX 6800. The trouble here is that if you're prepared to use DLSS, the RTX 3060 Ti is far cheaper, without a pandemic and cryptocurrency mining surge, and does manage playable frame rates at 4K. Switch that advantage off and the two cards are actually quite similar, and the RTX 3070 is again a fair way ahead of the RX 6700 XT in Metro Exodus at 4K. For some reason at 1080p AMD cards really don't perform that well against their green counterparts, and even the RX 6800 failed to topple the RTX 3060 Ti.